So, I know my last video was of a serious nature, but the funny videos are coming, I promise. It's just, I want to have good editing software to do that before, I jump into that genre. I don't want to feed y'all something mediocre. So, right now, it's just, me venting and just putting things in perspective for you guys. Well, tonight on the Colbert Report, they had I can't recall his name now, but he's the gentleman, I believe he founded the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans Association or Affairs or whatever, and he brought up the point that throughout the entire coverage of Michael Jackson's death, something like 7 soldiers died. And it's a tragedy that Michael Jackson died. He was the king of pop, changed music in a lot of ways. But to me, you can report on him dying in the memorial service. Drop it with all of the rumors. Drop it with all the fluff. Drop it with all of the bogus nonsense that you reporters, and I'm not speaking to the audience, I'm speaking to CNN, to Fox News, to MSNBC, I'm speaking to all of you guys. Stop reporting on crap that isn't news. I was talking about this the other day with a few people. I think that you guys, unless it's something like 9/11 where it's happening in front of 1,000 people's eyes, I think you guys should have a 48 to 72 hour window to get your facts straight before you go running your mouth. Anyway, that's just me starting to go off on another tangent. My point is, I went online and I was astounded. No, that's not even, no, not even, I was floored, I was flabbergasted, I was shocked and appalled to find out how many soldiers have died in Iraq in just the last almost 3 weeks. So now, what we're gonna do is, instead of me feeding you nonsense about Michael Jackson and Billy Mays, did he hit his head or was it a heart attack? Or why did Sarah Palin resign? Because that's really the big issue. No, I'm not giving you that nonsense. I don't care about any of that. And to be truthful, if any of you out there have a brain, you shouldn't care about it either. This is what matters. On June 29th, 2009, Sergeant Roger L. Adams Jr. was killed by a roadside bomb. He was from Jacksonville, North Carolina. Also on June 29th, Sergeant Juan C. Valdiosin, I'm probably pronouncing that incorrectly, I apologize. He was from Newport, North Carolina. Sergeant Robert L. Bittaker, also killed June 29th, 2009, when a roadside bomb detonated in Baghdad. Sergeant First Class Edward C. Kramer, from Wilmington, North Carolina. He was the 4th soldier killed in that very same bomb on June 29th. On June 28th, 2009, Sergeant Timothy A. David, 28 years old, died of wounds suffered from a roadside bomb that detonated near his vehicle in Baghdad. He was from Gladwin, Michigan. Sergeant Joshua L. Hazelwood, 22 years old, from Manville, Texas, died of injuries sustained from a non-combat related incident in Kuwait. Specialist Casey L. Hills, 23 years old, from Salem, Illinois, died of injuries sustained during a vehicle rollover in Iraq on June 25th. Special Chancellor A. Kiesling, 25 years old, from Indianapolis, Indiana, died of non-combat related incident in Baghdad on June 19th. Captain Kafil H. Sims, 32 years old, from LA, California, also died of non-combat related incident. Sergeant Joshua W. Soto, 25 years old, San Angelo, Texas, died of wounds suffered from a roadside bomb which detonated on June 16th. Staff Sergeant Edmund L. Lowe, 23 years old, from Salem, New Hampshire. He was killed when a roadside bomb that hit his explosive ordnance disposal team was acting to neutralize detonated. I'm not familiar with that particular wording, but it sounds as though they were trying to disarm a device and a malfunction led to that tragedy. Lance Corporal Robert D. Ulmer, 22 years old, from Landisville, Pennsylvania, died from a non-hostile incident in Iraq on June 5th, 2009. Specialist Christopher M. Kurth, 23 years old, from Alamogordo, New Mexico, died of wounds suffered when his vehicle was struck by an anti-tank grenade in Iraq on June 4th, 2009. Specialist Charles D. Parrish, 23 years old, from Jasper, Alabama, died of wounds suffered when his vehicle was struck by an anti-tank grenade in Iraq on June 4th, 2009. Sergeant Justin J. Duffy, 31 years old, killed by a roadside bomb that exploded near his vehicle June 2nd, 2009. Now, I only realized after I was going through these that evidently these are posted backwards. Or they're not posted backwards. I read them backwards. Excuse me. That was for the month of June. And July, I saved this one for last. Not because it's any worse than the rest of them, but my imagination creates some backstory to this young man, and that's heartbreaking to me to read this. But Private Lucas M. Bragg from Wright City, Missouri, died of injuries suffered from a non-combat related incident in Baghdad, Iraq, on July 8th, 2009. He was 19 years old. This is the situation that we're in, folks. Stop caring about Paris Hilton and Perez Hilton and Nicole Richie and Michael Jackson and Joe Jackson and LaToya Jackson and Janet Jackson. Stop this nonsense. This is news. This is what they should be reporting about. This is what matters. So I want everyone to take a moment of silence to reflect on these brave men. And there's 4,000 people on this list. Women too. Take a moment of silence and remember their names.